What's up everyone, John Venus here. I got a new video for you guys today. I'm gonna be discussing how I went from looking like this to transforming my body and looking like this. The whole thing was a really long process. It took a lot of dedication and work, and I'm gonna go through step by step how I did it, and hopefully this information will help you guys make some progress too. So before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified when my next video comes out. You will not regret it. Okay, let's go back in time to when I was a kid. So luckily I was raised in a family who was more health conscious than normal. The only time I could lay my hands on something that was unhealthy, junk food, was when I was going to other kids' birthday parties. Growing up, I was really into Power Rangers, superhero movies, Hercules, He-Man, that kind of stuff. So every single picture taken when I was a kid, I was flexing. So skipping forward to when I was a teenager, I was pretty skinny then. I did play soccer as a hobby and did skateboarding and that kind of stuff, but I never actually hit the gym and lifted weights. I was pretty much a regular teenager. The first time I experimented with lifting weights was when I was about 16 years old. And to be honest, I only hit the gym a couple times a year, so it's not like I made a huge progress. My life basically just revolved around playing video games, skateboarding, and partying at the weekends. About 2 years later, when I moved back to the USA, I got a hernia and I had to get a surgery. I weighed about 75 kilos after the surgery, or 165 pounds. And that is because I had to lay in bed for about 2 weeks without any movement. And at the time, I wasn't lifting at all, only playing soccer and doing cardio. A little bit after that, I went to Norway and met Catherine, my girlfriend. And since she lifted, I just decided to join her and start lifting as well. So the first 4 months of lifting, I had no idea what I was doing. I just did some random full body workouts 3 times a week. So this is how I looked when I started lifting. I was really skinny, but 3 months later, I actually did see some good results. This is how I looked then. So once I started seeing those results, I started to up my training frequency to about 5 to 6 times a week. And that is really when I decided to go all out, 100% effort, sweating like crazy, giving it my all ever since. So 5 years non-stop. So keep that in mind. That is really important for the rest of the progress. So at that point, when I started getting really serious about lifting, I did a bro split, so I will hit 1 muscle group per day. I was eating with my family. I was eating loads of rice, beans, chicken, different kinds of meats. And also when I went out, I just bought street foods and candy and junk food and that kind of stuff, especially while I spent the days in school. At that time, I was really into YouTube fitness, and I saw loads of channels doing this thing called dirty bulking. Basically what they were doing is eating loads of cakes, cookies, ice cream, pizzas, anything that you can imagine to gain muscle. And that sounded like paradise to me, so I went ahead and tried to do the same. But unfortunately, after a few months, I just ended up looking like I had a dad bod. So after that big mistake, I just decided to clean my diet up. Obviously, I was still having cheat days here and there, but I was a lot more serious at this point with my diet. And summer was right around the corner, so I decided for the first time to cut down. I did not know how to do it properly, so what I did was I restricted the calories to about 1,800 calories, which is not that much, especially since I was doing 1 hour of cardio every single day. So I ended up looking like this. I lost a lot of muscle mass. I wasn't really happy with how I was looking because it looked like I lost all the progress that I made in the past 1.5 years of training. So on that summer, I really decided to put a lot of effort in and find out how I could gain muscle without putting on a lot of extra fat, and how to lose fat without losing all the muscle. And that is exactly when I decided to make a YouTube channel to try to share my experience and my progress. So I started increasing my intake of whole foods. I started to eat more calories from healthy stuff rather than only junk food. I was still eating quite a bit of junk food because I just love sweet and fatty foods. At that point, I researched a little bit more and switched up my training split to a chest and tricep, back and biceps, arms and leg split. At that point, I was a student and I really did not have much money at all. My girlfriend Catherine had to pay for all the food almost for a period there, and I had to make sure that I got the cheapest stuff. So I was eating loads of frozen chicken, fish, shrimps, rice, beans, that kind of stuff. But even on a budget, I was able to progress and ended up putting a lot of muscle mass in the next year or so. So after a year of building muscle, I decided to do a photo shoot just to see the progress that I've actually made in the past year. So instead of decreasing the calories by a lot and starving myself like the first time I cut down, I just did it a little bit more steady and I actually got in the best shape of my life. I was really happy with the results. And after the photo shoot was done, after the cutting phase was done, I had to go to Brazil for a Christmas vacation for 4 weeks, and that is the only time where I took a break from the gym. So 4 weeks without any weightlifting, and I ended up going from looking like this at the photo shoot to looking extremely flat because I did not have a gym available. I was only doing some jogging at the beach. So that is when I returned back to London after the Christmas holidays and started to lift again. And at the same time, time, I watched a couple documentaries with my girlfriend and I decided to go vegan. So on top of the fear that I lost all my muscle mass by not training for 4 weeks, I had an extra fear of not ever being able to build muscle because I was gonna cut out meat, eggs and dairy and all animals from my diet. At the time, there was no other vegan bodybuilder or plant-based bodybuilder on the internet. I did not find anyone for inspiration or information on the topic, so I was really going into unknown territories. So what I did right then was to increase my calories as much as possible. I was eating all the time, non-stop, just to make sure that I don't lose muscle because I went vegan. So what actually happened was I gained loads and loads of weight, probably the fastest I've ever gained weight in my life, and that was probably because I found out that Pizza Hut was able to make me vegan pizza. So I was eating loads of junk food, obviously loads of whole foods as well, but my weight increased like crazy. In the first 2 months, I probably put on about 10 pounds, and a lot of it was fat, but at the same time, my strength increased like never before. Just because of the amount of carbohydrates and vegetables I was eating, I was able to recover really fast and get stronger faster than ever. So I was really happy with the progress, but I wasn't really happy with how I ended up looking because I gained too much body fat from the junk food, and decided to see how it would work to cut down. And after experimenting a lot, I found the sweet spot of keeping my calories as high as possible while still losing weight. I figured out the macro ratio that worked best for me at the time. It was 60% carbohydrates, 20% protein, 20% fats. At the same time, I was taking on loads of online training clients with Catherine, and everyone was getting amazing results, which is how I started the online training business. So I cleaned up my diet, I eliminated junk food, I was tracking my calories and macros, and I ended up looking really good. I ended up looking the best that I've ever looked. I was happy with the amount of muscle mass that I was able to build, and luckily there was no question anymore in my mind that there was no difference between building muscle on a meat-based diet and a plant-based diet. So after my diet ended on a plant-based diet, I decided to go on to a lean bulking phase, which means just increasing your calories slightly above maintenance to make some gains very slowly without adding a lot of fat. But as time went on, you know, I incorporated more and more junk food. I got really addicted to crazy things like cookies and ice cream, especially when we went to the US and saw all the vegan options that you could get there, the crazy junk food. And it all kind of spiraled out of control as I was focusing more on having fun and making fun vlogs rather than fitness related content on YouTube. So I lost a little bit of motivation to eat clean, and after about 1 year of not really tracking macros and focusing on really healthy whole foods, I ended up looking the fattest that I ever looked. And keep in mind, guys, I'm not trying to say that I am fat here. There's plenty of people who are overweight and have a lot more fat, but the fact is that this is definitely not in a healthy position. So what ended up happening was that I went up to 102 kilos or 224 pounds. The most important lesson that I learned was how quickly things can change. You know, just by 6 months of not tracking anything, just eating all the junk food that I want, just enjoying myself, how much I was able to put on. And imagine doing that for several years in a row, how much damage you can actually do. And that's when I decided to go and cut down and get rid of all the excess body fat that I just gained and track all of my progress here on YouTube for you guys to watch. So now I've been on my cut for 4 months and it's been working really well. I am still planning on getting super shredded, but as you can see here in these clips, I am definitely looking a lot better. This is a body that I'm really proud of. And if you want to know all the details from the start when I was you know, at my fattest to right now, I've documented everything on my fat loss series playlist, so make sure to watch from episode 1 to get all the information. For the past 4 months, I've also been on a more of a push-pull leg split, so I'm hitting the muscles pretty frequently. That is basically my transformation from, well, basically when I was a kid till the present day. It's not really about feeling proud because of how you look, but because you are overcoming obstacles and progressing, which is the most important thing. If you are putting in the work and being consistent to become physically and mentally stronger and healthier, you should really feel proud of yourself. You shouldn't only be looking to the end result and only then you'll feel proud. Feel proud of the progress and the journey, because it is a journey, not the end result, that makes you grow as a person. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep updated with my videos. And as always, I'll see you very soon. Peace out.